When you are first getting into journaling, it can feel a little bit overwhelming or like, I don't know how to start, but it doesn't have to be. And I'll tell you why in this video. And yes, if you see something off on my face, I have a black eye. It's because of sparring. I did it this morning. Did I cry? Absolutely, but I'm all good. So, journaling. Journaling to me is like getting everything out of here onto paper, which is so nice for a calm and clear mind. And I started journaling, I think, a couple of years ago, and I've been doing it ever since. And it's not like I'm doing it every single day or like I have to do it every single day. I just do it whenever I feel like I want to. If you are just starting out with journaling, it can feel like a little bit awkward to put stuff on paper, or maybe you don't even know what to write about, but that's not a problem at all because the awkwardness of it will fade with time. I remember at the beginning, I had a therapist slash coach, and he told me that it would be good to just put everything I'm thinking and feeling on paper. Without like filtering anything, just purely my honest thoughts. And at first, I was a little bit hesitant because I just wasn't sure what to write. I felt a little bit awkward with putting stuff on paper, but yeah, it did me so incredibly well. And so the awkwardness, it fades with time. Um, I think it was only like maybe the first few times that it felt a little bit weird, but then I got the hang of it, and yeah, it's been great ever since. The way that I journal kind of depends on what I'm craving at the moment. Sometimes I free write, sometimes I like to use prompts. Um, Nowadays, I mostly do free writing. I just write down anything that I'm feeling or like how my day is going. Um, but sometimes I just want to not think too much and just, yeah, have some daily prompts that I can just go off of. And yeah, I guess those two kind of just alternate each other. But I must say that for the majority, I do a lot of free writing right now. But I started off with doing a lot of prompts. So, if you are just starting out, I think it would be a good idea to start with some prompts. And you can do this, for example, with a book that already has prompts in it, but you can also just buy an empty notebook and write your own prompts. There's so many fun, nice clearing prompts you can find on Pinterest. I always love scrolling on there and looking for new things that I can write down in my journal. But I have now kind of curated my own daily morning and evening journal prompt list, which I like to use whenever I want to do the prompts. I have my laptop here, so I'll read them to you. So, if you're still feeling a little bit awkward with just free writing, you can start using these. In the morning, I will start with how am I feeling? I will try to feel in my body what I'm feeling at the moment. Am I stressed, anxious, excited, or just chill? Then the second thing is the highest priority of the day, something you really want to get done, so you can tick it off at the end and like feel fulfilled with the day. Then the third one is how can I have a mental, a physical, and a spiritual win today? I personally love putting all three wins in every single day. So mental could be like reading, writing, maybe journaling, like you're doing in the morning at that moment. A physical win, it could be walking, lifting, doing yoga, Pilates, anything that moves your body. And then a spiritual win could be something like affirmations or expressing gratitude. And then the next one is what's my daily fun thing today? I always love to put like a daily fun thing in the morning so that I already think of something that I'm going to look forward to in the day. And it could be something really small. It could just be like making my favorite coffee or walking with a friend, something like that. And then the second to last one is how can I show up for myself today? I put this in because I sometimes have trouble with honoring my own needs. So I feel like with how can I show up for myself today, for example, if I feel very tired at the moment, then the way I can show up for myself today is, for example, to go to bed earlier at like a maybe a specific time. And then I like to end the morning with a daily affirmation, which is then also your spiritual win. because I feel like an affirmation just sets you up nicely. It sets the intention for the day, and yeah, you just get going very nicely. Well, and then the day goes by, and then evening rolls around, and you can pick up your journal again. In the evening, I like to journal about how am I feeling once again. So the day has progressed, and maybe stuff happened in the day that I want to talk about. So the how am I feeling part is kind of like a free writing part. You can make it as long or as short as you would like. Next is what went well today. So something fun. What did you enjoy? Something nice that happened in the day, or multiple things, of course. And then after comes what challenges did I face. So, for example, maybe you got triggered by something, maybe something didn't go as you hoped or planned. You can write that all down. And then afterwards, you can write down what can I do differently next time. So, it's kind of like a little reflection moment for you where you can see, okay, this and this didn't go as I wanted it to go. So, how am I gonna show up for myself next time and make sure that I feel better? Then, what I also really like to do in the evening is to set tomorrow's goals. You can do like one goal, you can do three goals. I would say not go any higher than three because that's gonna be really overwhelming. And then I like to end off the evening journaling session with a self love note. To some, it might be a little cringy. I had to get used to it first, but now I really like doing it, because I've been trying to work on my self love a lot more. And what I do is I just write like one or two sentences to myself, and it will say something like, I'm proud of you, you did well today, take some rest, stuff like that. Anything that comes from the heart that you want to say to yourself, you can write that down. Now, that is a daily check in. So you can do that whenever you just want some clarity, you want some peace of mind, like you want to put all of the thoughts that you have in here just out there on paper so that your head can be a little bit emptier. Of course, you don't have to do it every single day. You can do it whenever you want to. I mean, that's the fun about journaling. It's so free and anything is possible. There's no rules to it. So you can just do it however you like to do it. Then something else I like to do with my journal is to make lists. And you can make lists about literally anything. You can like maybe Google a possible list, or you can think of possible lists yourself. You can find them on Pinterest as well. But I wrote down some examples on my laptop also. In my journal, I have a lot of lists as well. I have, for example, how to be more present. What does self-care look like to me? Books I want to read or shows I want to watch. Things that I'm grateful for, things I've learned recently, healthy types of dopamine. But you can do so many other things as well. You can do things that are energizing me and draining me at the moment, things I want to stop doing, start doing, stuff like that. And one that I really like is to list down moments of going out of my comfort zone and just like keeping track of all the things that I'm doing that I don't feel comfortable with but still do. For example, like a cold shower, or complimenting someone I don't know, or eating somewhere alone. One other thing that I've really, really liked to journal about recently is the Japanese philosophy of Ikigai. And basically, what it does is it helps you to find your purpose a bit more. I've been struggling with finding my purpose a lot, and I still am, not gonna lie. But this sure helped me to get like a little bit more direction. So, what it does, you have four different categories you can list in your journal. The first being what I love, the second, what I'm good at, the fourth, what the world needs, and the fifth, what you can get paid for. And basically, what you do, you fill in all of the different categories. So, for example, what I love would be things that bring me joy, things that make me forget time. What I'm good at would be my strengths, my skills, things that like come very naturally to me. And then at the end you have the four different categories, and you can like see what overlap you have in those four categories, and that gives you a lot of direction. I did mine through a blog, and I followed the instructions on the blog because I wasn't sure how to go about it. But I'll link that in the description so that you can use it too. Something else that works really well with journaling, maybe not in your journal, but like on a loose piece of paper, maybe, is if something happened to you, or like a situation happened, or someone hurt you, it is such a good idea to write about it, just completely unfiltered, anything you want to say. You can even make it like a letter to a specific person, and you never have to give it to them. But it just helps you to write down all of your feelings. I did this once as well. I had a situation that just didn't feel right with me, and I just wrote it all down, and afterwards I burned it. I don't want to recommend burning it because I don't know if it's going to be safe. But I did it in a safe way, and it felt so incredibly nice. You can also just maybe throw it away or like tear it apart, or if you have a bonfire, you can throw it in there. But please be safe. Please be safe. It genuinely felt like I could take the situation out of my mind and burn it. Yeah, as crazy as it sounds, it did really, really work for me. Something else that's really nice to do in your journal is shadow work. And shadow work basically helps you to heal a lot of your like inner deeper layers, as in something that's not as much on surface level that you notice in a day-to-day basis, but more, yeah, like the deep stuff. And there are so many journal prompts for shadow work. Once again, you can find them on Pinterest, you can Google them. There's just so many different ones, and also for different categories. For example, for confidence or overthinking, shame, guilt, stuff like that. So definitely just look at prompts and find whatever resonates with you. I listed a few down, but you don't have to do these, of course. It's not like there's specific prompts you need to follow, but I thought that these were really interesting. The first one is, what situations triggered me this week and why did they trigger me? When do I feel most insecure and why? What limiting belief is holding me back and how can I overcome it? What part of myself do I hide from others and why? What did I have to become as a child to be loved? Who would I be without any fear of judgment or rejection? What emotion do I consider bad and why? And what are you most afraid people will say about you and why? And what I think is very important is, if you're gonna do the prompts, maybe try to do a bit more than just one sentence or like a few words. Try to really sit with it and, yeah, take the time to just see whatever comes to mind and keep writing, because I often notice that the longer I'm writing and putting the pen to the paper, more stuff is coming up. And I feel like sometimes when I just write like a really short answer, it like doesn't really reach its full potential, because yeah, the mind just keeps going and going and digging a little deeper, I feel, once you're writing more and you reach like that flow state. And then the last type of journaling that I personally really, really like is creative journaling. And creative journaling is, yeah, it could go any way. It doesn't really matter because it's creative, and journaling is like an activity that you can do in every single way. So creative journaling is just like such a fun way to journal and not make it all as deep as and as heavy as maybe the other things are. Because journaling can also just be super fun. It doesn't all have to be like about your feelings and triggers. It can just be like, what is my favorite color and why? Stuff like that. Could be. But I wrote some down as well that I found on Pinterest, that maybe you can use. But also for this, there's so many to find on Pinterest, but you can also just Google them. But I love using Pinterest for my journal prompts. If you could communicate with animals, what would you say? If you could travel through time, where would you go and why? If you could have a superpower, what would you choose and why? Describe a place that feels like home. What is my favorite season and why? What color makes me feel the happiest and why? If my life was a movie, what would be the title and what would the trailer look like? If I could teleport right now, where would I go and why? And the last one that I wrote down is, write a letter to your future self. I've never done this personally, but I really, really love the idea of writing a letter to your future self. So I think I might have to get on that as well. So this was a little information on how you can get started with journaling pretty easily. The ones that I talked about were the daily check-in with the morning and evening, making fun lists, the Ikigai for purpose, shadow work, writing a letter to someone or something and then destroying it, and creative journaling. And of course, there's so many different things you can do with your journal. You can do it like in a scrapbook style as well, put photos in it, put like memories in it. It's all up to you, and that is what I love about it the most. But I would recommend, if you're getting started, just start with some basic prompts. Don't overwhelm yourself too much, and the free writing, it will definitely come with time. I cannot stress this enough. If you're thinking about journaling, or maybe starting the habit of journaling, or if your head is just very full and you want to have some more peace and clarity in your head, give it a shot and try to do it for a little bit more than just once, because um, once you get the hang of it, it's gonna be so much fun and you're really gonna see the benefits of it. Anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.